Okay, so last class we have studied up to page number 39 before activity 4.5. So today we will start from activity 4.5. So here take some hot water in a beaker or a mug. Dip the thermometer in water. Which type of thermometer you will use here? In the activity they are telling you to take a hot water and put thermometer in that hot water. So which type of thermometer you will use? Laboratory thermometer, because the clinical thermometer that we use to measure human body temperature, that range from 35 to 42 only. So if the temperature is less than that or more than that, we cannot calculate that. So in this case we use laboratory thermometer. Wait till the mercury thread becomes steady and note the temperature. So you have to note it properly what is the temperature. So as already I told you that when the school will open, so if I'll be having a mercury, this one, thermometer, then I could have shown you. Okay. Now take out the thermometer from water. Observe carefully what happened now. Do you notice that as soon as you take the thermometer out of water, the level of mercury begins to fall? So once you take out the laboratory thermometer from the warm water, as you take out the thermometer from the warm water, you will see that the level of mercury falls down. Why it happens like this? Why it don't happen in a clinical thermometer? So there is a simple reason, and that is called the kink. So this kink don't allow to fall the mercury level by its own. So in a clinical thermometer we have a kink which don't allow the mercury level to fall. Okay, I told you last class also that while using a clinical thermometer, you have measure your temperature. Now if you want to measure others temperature, you need to shake this way. When you will shake this way, then only its mercury level will go down, otherwise it remains same because of the kink. But in case of a laboratory thermometer, it don't have any kink. So as soon as you will remove from the water, when you will remove thermometer from the water, you will see that the level of mercury, that means level of mercury means temperature, that means the level of mercury in thermometer will start reducing. Is it clear? And why it happens so? Because of kink. If you are having a kink, then it will not fall by its own. But if you don't have a kink, then it will fall by its own. Is it clear? This means that the temperature must be read while the thermometer is in water. So definitely, when the thermometer, that means the laboratory thermometer, whenever you need to find the temperature of any of the substance, so you have to put that thermometer in that substance and you have to read the thermometer properly. If you will remove, then its temperature definitely it will reduce. Okay, so you have to calculate when it is placed in that substance. You may recall that while taking your own temperature, you have to take the thermometer out of the mouth to note the reading. Can you then use the laboratory thermometer to measure your body temperature? So no, we can't use laboratory thermometer to measure our body temperature, because as soon as we will remove from our mouth, then its temperature will start reducing. But it don't happen in clinical thermometer, because in clinical thermometer there is a kink. There is a kink. This kink don't allow to fall the temperature. Okay, that means it don't allow to fall the level of mercury. But in laboratory thermometer there is a lack of kink. Obviously, it is not convenient to use the laboratory thermometer for this purpose. Why does the mercury not fall or rise in a clinical thermometer when taken out of the mouth? Observe a clinical thermometer again. Do you see a kink near the bulb? So you will see a kink like this. Okay, you have studied in maths like this kink. So that kink will be present in a laboratory thermometer, which don't allow to fall the level of mercury until you are forced to do that. That means if you shake your this one thermometer, then only it will fall, otherwise it remains same. So that is been advised to everyone that whenever you are using a laboratory thermometer, before using it to the other person, you should shake it properly. You have studied already precaution to be taken. Okay, in that you can say that before using we should shake it. Okay, so do you see a kink near the bulb? Figure 4.6, 4.6, 4.6, where it is 4.6, figure 4.6, 4.6. A clinical thermometer has a kink. Is your photo clear? I don't know, mine is not clear. So at the bottom of this, that means near the bulb, there is a kink which help to maintain the temperature, which don't allow the mercury level to fall by its own. Okay. What is the use of the kink? It prevent mercury level from falling on its own. It don't allow to fall. Okay. Nowadays, uh, digital thermometer has been invented. So nowadays people they use digital thermometer. Okay, they'll put it in the mouth or maybe under the arms and they will press a button. You can see there is a button. That button when you will press, it will produce one sound, and then you can record your temperature for maybe few seconds. That means when unless and until and unless it produces one sound. So you have put it over here under the arm, then you will wait. After a few seconds, it will produce one sound like this. So that means your temperature has been calculated. So after that, you can remove that and you can see. I'm having a thermometer like this. I can show you. Okay, wait. I am having a thermometer. I'll show you. Okay, so this is the digital thermometer. You can see there is a button here. When we will press this button, then it will on. And after keeping it under your arm or maybe in your mouth, then you can calculate. Well, there will be one sound, and by hearing that sound, you can understand that the temperature has been calculated. So if you want to check, I'll show you. Have you heard sound? Okay, I'm putting it under the arm, or maybe I'm in my mouth. I don't know you are hearing this sound or not. So that means it is over. Okay, so you can see that it has been given. You can see my temperature is 96.8. So 96.8, that means okay, I'm normal. Okay, okay. So this way you can calculate. In this case, you don't need to shake this one like this, okay? Whenever you will start again, you can see it will start from 0, huh? It has been on. So again, just see, it has come to 0, okay? Now when you will start again, that means when you'll keep it this, you will get that person's temperature, okay? Next time if I calculate, now I have normal body temperature, it is actually approximately 37 degrees Celsius, okay? But in some of the book, 37 degrees Celsius, but in some of the book you may get 36.9 degrees Celsius also. So both are same actually, exactly same, that means almost same, okay? So that was, oh yeah, kink is given here, you can see figure 4.6, kink is given. I was looking down, can you see kink? In this figure, in this figure, this one is the kink. Just observe in your book. Have you got it? So that is the kink which don't allow the mercury level to fall by its own. Okay, now let's move to digital thermometer. There is a lot of concern over the use of mercury in thermometer. So many people they say that don't use mercury in the thermometer because mercury is very dangerous. Now just see, this is called the bulb. If I'll put this bulb in my mouth and if I crush it, if I'll squeeze it, I'll crush it, then the mercury level will go to my mouth and I can die also. Okay, so that's why it is very dangerous. This is the reason why nowadays doctors they don't allow children to put this mercury, that means thermometer, in their mouth. That is kept under the arm. Okay, so if we nowadays doctor they tell childrens, mainly childrens, to put this thermometer under their arm. Why? Because if this bulb will break, if I'll squeeze it, if the mercury goes to my mouth, my body, then I will die. It is very dangerous. So that's why people they say that don't use mercury in the thermometer. Okay, so that is a risky. Clear? And it is very difficult to dispose also. Okay. Okay, let's see. Mercury is a toxic substance and is very difficult to dispose of if a thermometer breaks. These days, digital thermometers are available which do not use mercury. Digital thermometer, they don't have mercury. Okay. So digital thermometer can be used to children also, because if they break also, we will not have any problem. Okay. Now let's move to another topic, transfer of heat. Transfer of heat. So there are three ways of transferring heat. One is called conduction, another is called convection, and third one is called radiation. First is conduction, next is convection, and third is radiation. Conduction occurs in solid substance. Okay, conduction occurs in solid substance only. Convection done in fluid. Okay, fluid means liquid or gas. and radiation is a different thing that we will study later on. Okay. So conduction, like suppose this is a iron nail. You know iron nail, right? Iron nail. Everyone knows iron nail, correct? So just assume that this is a iron nail. Gajal in Hindi, sorry, in Assamese it is called gajal. Okay. So let us suppose that this is a iron nail. Okay, gajal. Fine. I have hold this one from here, and this is what? Iron nail. Okay. So I have started burning from this region. It will burn, it will burn, it will burn. That means it will heat it up, heat it up, heat it up. It will heat continuously, and after heating this region, the heat will transfer to your hand, and when it reach to your hand, when you will feel hot, you leave this one. Has it happened ever? If you are holding a maybe rod or maybe a wire or maybe something hot substance, then we leave it suddenly, like like while cooking food, while cooking food, we used to cook food. We don't want to cook utensil, right? We want to cook food. So why the utensils are hot? When we hold the utensils, why they are hot? Because heat, fire, fire make this utensil heat. That means it has been heated continuously, it has been heated, and the utensils become hot. Okay. So you remember that heat always travel from hotter object to colder object. Heat always travel from hotter object to colder object. Like when I will heat this one, this is an iron nail. If I'll heat this one, the heat will transfer slowly, 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 and then finally it will reach till here. When it reach here, when I'll feel hot, I'll leave this one suddenly or immediately. Understood? Understood? Is it clear? Now, now conduction. Conduction means what? So conduction means heating the particles. Heating the particles. Every object are made up of particles. They are known as atoms. So everything is made up of atoms. So when we heat any object, actually we are heating the atom. In a solid substance, atoms are not able to move freely. They can't move freely because they are closely packed. Okay, they are closely packed. For example, suppose you are in a vehicle which is tightly filled, completely filled. You have to imagine you are in a vehicle and it has been completely filled. Okay, can you move your hands, legs, body? Will you be able to move your hands in that means in that vehicle? It has been completely filled. Will it be able to move our hand, body? Yes or no? सिंपल सा चीज, मान लो कि एक रूम में, ये रूम में मैंने मान लो 100 आदमी को इस रूम में रख दिया. ठीक है, आई हैव पुट 100 पीपल इन दिस रूम. In this room we can't put 100 people, but suppose I have put 100 people in this room. Okay, I have put them very tightly, chipko. That means that way I have put them very closely. Okay, so now they will be able to move or not? Now they will be able to move? No, they won't be able to move because there is no space. खाली जगह ही नहीं है. If there is an empty space, then only you can move. Are you getting my point or not? To move from one place to another, you required an empty space. If there is no empty space, you can't move. Same way I told you that you are in a vehicle. I don't know you have ever sit or not. Like suppose you are sitting in a Maruti car. Okay, in a Maruti car, driver, then one person here, and 4% backside they can sit easily. That means total 6% can sit easily. Am I correct? So 4% can sit easily. Now I am telling you, you have to adjust 10 people there. Okay. Okay. Total 6% can adjust in a vehicle. I am telling you 10%. I am giving you 10%, you have to adjust in that vehicle. So definitely 6 they can sit easily. Okay. But if there are 10, then they have to sit very tightly. Is it or not? So when they will sit very tightly, you can't move your hand, body, legs, nothing you can move. I don't know, have you ever feel this way or not in your life? कभी जिंदगी में ऐसा महसूस हुआ है, कभी फील हुआ है ऐसा? So it happens, okay, sometime it happens. In my life I have seen these things many a time. It happens with me many a time when I was kid. Okay, when I was kid there was lack of vehicles. So lack of vehicles, so whenever vehicle comes, many people they run to sit there. Okay, so when they move, so many people, you will not believe, in one Maruti car, that means Maruti car, 6 people can sit easily, but we come with 8, 10 like these people, and it become very sophisticated. We feel very uneasy to sit there, but anyhow you have to go to your house. So using that vehicle only you can go, otherwise it will take time. Okay, so by adjusting one another, we were moving from one place to another. But nowadays vehicles have increased enormously. Nowadays vehicles are very much present in our life. You can see vehicles are here and there everywhere. So you have seen that some people alone they are riding their car. Have you seen or not? Nowadays people they love their vehicle also. I don't know you have ever seen or not. People they love their vehicle also. और 4 से ज़्यादा मैं आदमी नहीं बैठाऊंगा, गाड़ी खराब हो जाएगा. Have you heard this way? Even in scooters, then bike, people they say this way. ओए मैं 2 से ज़्यादा नहीं बैठाऊंगा, मेरा सस्पेंसर खराब हो जाएगा. They used to say this way. That means nowadays people they are loving their vehicles. But before, people mainly they were focused in earning money. So they take many people as they can. Okay. So what I was saying, in a solid substance, particles are packed very closely. They can't move easily. Okay. So I'm giving an example. I'm giving an example, one simple example. This solid particles, that means this atom cannot move in solid substance. Okay, it cannot move. Fine. So let us suppose this is the particles. Actually particles are very small, okay, but here we will assume that these 5 fingers are the particles of solid. So they are closely packed. Okay, they are closely packed. So I have start hitting this finger, that means this atom. So when I will hit this one using fire or any other thing, if I start hitting, this particle will not move. this particle will heated up, and this heat will be transferred to the next finger. Are you getting it or not? They are not able to move. Okay, so whatever is been heated here, that heat is been transferred to this finger. Now this finger will, that means this atom will heat it up, now it will move to another one. Then same way this will be heated, it will move to this and then this. And finally when this will be heated, then the heat will transfer to the environment. So this is the process of conduction. That means actually the particles do not move. Heat transfer from one place to another without moving the particles. Is it clear? Is it clear? That is called conduction. Okay? So let's see. Transfer of heat. You might have observed that a frying pan become hot when kept on a flame. It is because the heat passes from the flame to the utensils. So that means the flame heated the utensils, and the utensils heated anything what is present in that utensil, maybe water or maybe vegetable or anything, whatever is been present there. When the pan is removed from the fire, when it is removed, you have seen that slowly it cool down. Okay, it cooled down. Remember that heat always travel from hotter object to colder object. So this hot pan, I have kept it somewhere. So from the pan, from the frying pan, the heat will transfer to the ground. Ground, that means wherever I have kept. I don't know you have ever noticed or not, wherever you will put your hot object, and when you will remove that object from there, and if you touch that surface, it becomes hot. Have you ever noticed or not? कोई गर्म चीज को आपने उठाकर कहीं पे रख दिया, ठीक है, रखने के बाद कुछ समय के बाद आपको याद आया कि वहां नहीं रखना चाहिए था, कहीं और रखेगा, तो दोबारा से आप उठा के कहीं और रखते हो, तो पहली बार जहां पे रखा था, इफ यू विल टच दैट सरफेस यू विल फील हॉट. इट मीन्स दैट वो जगह तो गर्म नहीं था, दैट प्लेस वाज नॉट हॉट, दिस यूटेंसिल वाज हॉट. सो from that utensil, heat is been transferred to the colder region. That means it transferred to the surface. It transferred to the surface where it was kept. Okay, fine. Same way, I don't know you know this or not, when we use deodorant, when we use deodorant, okay, when we use deodorant or maybe nail polish remover or spirit in our body or perfume, we feel cold. Yes or no? We feel cold. Why it happens? Because our body temperature is more than deodorant, spirit, then whatever is been used. Okay, our body temperature is more. So when we put any substance on our hand, maybe spirit or maybe nail polish remover, then what happen, our body temperature is more. So from our body, temperature moves to that substance. Okay, like suppose I have put it over here. So here whatever temperature I am having over here in this place, from there temperature will move to that liquid. Are you getting my point? So from that particular region, heat transferred to the other object. That's why we feel cold in that particular region. Same way, when we are using a deodorant, then on that particular region only we feel cold. We don't feel cold in our whole our body, right? We feel cold in that particular region because that temperature will move to the liquid, and when it will move, definitely it will feel cold. Is it clear? Okay. So this is heat transfer from hotter object to colder object. When the pen is removed from the fire, it slowly cool down. Why does it cool down? The heat is transferred from the pen to the surrounding. So you can understand that in both cases the heat flows from a hotter object to a colder object. In fact, in all cases, heat flows from a hotter object to a colder object. So always remember that heat always travel from hotter object to colder object. Now suppose if you have put utensils in fire, okay, that means you are cooking something. Now that utensils have more temperature. Now if you touch that utensils with your bare hand, okay, your body temperature is less. That means temperature कम है, utensils का temperature ज़्यादा है, तो utensils से temperature आपके body में आएगा. That means it will transfer from utensils to your body. So when you will touch, you will feel like, oh my god, it is very hot, because that heat is been transferred to your finger. So whole body you are getting hot, or that particular region where you have touched. Definitely where you have touched, whole body you will not feel hot. Is it clear? Because we are solid substance, so this portion will be heated up and slowly it will move. Okay. Okay. Now how does heat flows? Let us investigate. Already I have told you that this particle is been heated, then it will move to this, then this. That means actually the particles are not moving. Okay. Heat transfer from one place to another without moving the particles is called conduction. Okay. So let's see what is conduction. Activity has been given here. You can see, you can study this activity. It is very easy. Move to last paragraph. The process by which heat is transferred from the hotter end to the colder end in an object is known as conduction. Actually, conduction definition is not given properly. Here, here it should be said this way, that the process in which heat is transferred from hotter end to the colder end without moving the particles is called conduction. Is it clear? So definition is not complete here. You can add it. Okay. Okay. And this take place only in case of solid. Okay. Okay. So next day we'll continue with other topic. Okay. Thank you.